Hello, my name is Rudraksh, and I would like to tell you about my first experience with the recreational drug marijuana. And अभी तक मैंने टोटली 6 टाइम स्मोक किया है एंड हर बार मैं प्रेजेंट में नहीं रह पाता हूँ. So I wanted to talk about my first experience in particular because of its effect on me and how it changed my views of reality and this experience we all go through, known as life. First, let me tell you a little about myself. मैं कहाँ से हूँ और स्मोक करने के टाइम पे मैं कैसे सिचुएशन में था एंड अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट मी. सो लेट मी जस्ट गिव you a little summary. I am 19 years of age, nearly 20, and live in Uttarakhand, where I attend school, and my first marijuana experience was during the summer, so no school. I have meditated on and off throughout my life and have studied philosophy and computer science, web design, and physics, and other topics that have sparked my interest. My sister teaches English, and my brother works various jobs and aspires to become a biochemical engineer. मेरा बड़ा भाई मेरे से 10 साल बड़ा है and मेरे भाई ने ही मुझे फर्स्ट टाइम marijuana से इंट्रोड्यूस किया था. फर्स्ट टाइम मैं और मेरा भाई मेरे दादी के घर पे थे, जहाँ उसका एक रूम है जहाँ वो यूजुअली स्मोक करता है. मेरा भाई एक अच्छा इंसान है, बट बिकॉज ऑफ हिज स्टडीज आई थिंक ही इज़ अ टिपिकल कॉलेज किड जिसे हर एस्पेक्ट में फ्यूचर के बारे में सोचना है. ही इज़ अ लॉजिकल गाय एंड वांट्स टू यूज दैट लॉजिक एवरीवेयर इन हिज लाइफ. जिंदगी में क्या करना है, बड़े होके क्या बनना है, यहाँ तक कि टीवी पे कौन सा शो देखना है. यू हैव टू थिंक अबाउट एवरीथिंग. Now that I have given you a little information of my surrounding, let's get into the actual experience of marijuana. एक शाम को मुझे दादी के घर पे जाना था, बट मॉम खाना बना रही थी जो मुझे लेके जाना था. सो आई वेटेड एंड इट गॉट डार्क प्रीटी क्विकली हियर. जब मैं खाना लेके दादी के घर पे पहुंचा, दादी को डब्बा देने के बाद मैं मेरे भाई के रूम में जाता हूँ. उसका रूम सबसे ऊपर है. वो रूम को गेट भी नहीं है, बस एक पर्दा लटकाया हुआ है. When I entered his room, there was this smell. मेरा भाई उसके कंप्यूटर पे म्यूजिक सुन रहा था and he have these two computer speakers with subwoofers जिनका म्यूजिक क्वालिटी रियली अच्छा है. When he saw I came in room, भाई ने म्यूजिक आवाज कम किया and turned his chair towards me and मेरे से बात करने लगा. And as I said कि मेरे भाई का कैरेक्टर कुछ serious and forward thinking है, so we started talking about current events, things happening to us as of late, the usual bullshit you encounter when talking to a friend or brother or whatsoever. Our conversation are a little more dark though. We talk of organized religion, at times politics, science, interesting stuff, not usually. जैसे ही हमारी बातें हुई, he told me he is going to smoke the herb and pulled out his bong from behind the computer. मेरा भाई कभी कभी ही स्मोक करता था and most of the time he smoked it and I never participated. मैं सिर्फ वहाँ शांति और भाई की कंपनी के लिए होता था बिकॉज मेरी सिस्टर टीचर है एंड मॉम एंड डैड से मैं कभी नॉर्मल बातों पे बात नहीं कर सकता. सो ऑफनली जब भाई हाई हो जाता था, हम दोनों मजाक मजाक में बातें करते थे कि भाई विल बी द वन हु विल गेट मी हाई समडे एंड हाउ वी विल यूज आइस वाटर इन द बॉन्ग. सो इस बार व्हेन ही वाज पैकिंग द बॉन्ग, आई सेड the ice water thing, and I guess he was already a little high, so went into the bathroom and threw the bong water and asked me to get ice from downstairs. मैं नीचे जाके आइस लेके आता हूँ और देखता हूँ कि दादी खाना खा के सो गई है. I went up to the room and told my brother that Dadi is asleep and here is the ice, I guess. So he took another way and asked that, do I want to smoke? I gave an answer to that question, I never have. So let's try. जैसे ही मैंने हाँ बोला, I knew I was going to be experiencing something amazing at my heart. He put the bong on the computer table and loaded a full bowl of ganja into it. He put the lighter to it and sparked it. He sucked into the bong as it filled with smoke, pulled out the bong and inhaled the smoke that gathered into the bowl. अब ये मैं सब देख रहा हूँ जो मैंने उसे पहले भी करते हुए देखा है. But at this time it was something different. I was observing because मैं खुद ये चीज़ परफॉर्म करने वाला हूँ for the first time. And to be honest, I was a little scared. After he took a hit, वो मुझे बॉन्ग पास करता है. मैं लाइटर लेके लाइट करता हूँ, बट गांजा लाइट नहीं होता है. And while I was doing it, my hands were shaking. He laughed and said, "You want me to light it?" Embarrassed, I said yes. I put my lips inside the bong. He sparked the lighter, put it into the marijuana, and told me to suck in. I sucked in. Smoke filled the chamber. He told me quickly to pull out the bowl and suck in. I pulled it out and sucked it with the rest of the lung power I had left. And to be honest, I made it through the worst part. The smoke filled my lungs and it felt great. The amazing, familiar oxygen gas that normally filled my lungs was replaced by a thicker air, or should I say smoke. एंड मैंने जैसे मूवीज़ में देखा है कि हीरो लोग ये सब नोज़ से स्मोक निकलता है. सो आई एक्सेल फ्रॉम माई नोज़. मेरा भाई वापस बॉन्ग फिल करने लगा फॉर हिज सेकेंड हिट. अ फीलिंग ऑफ प्राइड ओवरकेम मी कि आई हैव सीन यूजुअली लोग खांसने लग जाते हैं एंड आई डिडंट. सो आई फेल्ट कि जो भी ये खांसते हैं ये सब बच्चे हैं एंड आई एम द अडल्ट. मेरा भाई मुझे बॉन्ग वापस से पास करता है एंड सेज कि इस बार स्मोक करने के बाद ट्राई टू होल्ड इट इन, इट विल गिव यू बेटर इफेक्ट्स. आई टुक हिज एडवाइस. ही टोल्ड मी इट वाज ऑलरेडी गोइंग. सो आई पुट इट इन माई माउथ, sucked in. The chamber filled with smoke. I pulled out the bowl and sucked in again. The smoke filled my lungs. मैंने बहुत बड़ा हिट लिया. At least it was big enough for me. And मुझे burning जैसे feel होने लगा lungs में. And then it started. I started coughing hard. कम से कम 2 मिनट तक. And I clearly remember thinking this thought कि हो गया, बहुत बड़ा समझ रहे थे खुद को. कफिंग बेटा आपको भी होती है. भाई smoked and finished his hit and handed the bong to me again. I thought for a second about some burning in my lungs from the second hit, but I decided I'd do it again. So I put my mouth to the bong, took the hit, held it and blew out. And more violently coughing started. Bhai took another hit, signaled the bong to me for another hit. ये point तक I was coughing, so I signaled him with my hand, no, I don't want it. But at that moment, I started feeling the ganja effects, जिस बारे में मुझे कुछ भी आइडिया नहीं था ये point तक. As I said no for another hit, मेरा भाई हंसता है और दूसरी तरफ देख के हल्की आवाज़ में बोलता है, फट्टू. ये देख के और सुन के मुझे पता नहीं क्या हुआ, बट मैं भी अपने फेस पे हाथ रख के कहता हूँ, भाड़ में जाओ, in whispering voice of course. But he hears it and starts laughing. 2 या 3 मिनट हो जाते हैं since our first hit and I feel nothing again. Asked भाई कि कितना टाइम लगता है to feel effects in starting. I was feeling but now nothing. जिसका रिप्लाई वो देता है कि look around the room, walk a little. और ये बोल के वो कंप्यूटर में बिजी हो जाता है. मैं उसके बेड से उठ के इधर उधर चलने लग जाता हूँ and started seeing his room and within 13 seconds or so, ganja effects hits me like a bullet train. My vision, it was my vision first. I moved my eyes, looked around at different places, the wall, the bed, Bhai looking at his computer, didn't matter what I looked at. Every time I moved my eyes, it lagged. Like watching frames of a moving slowly, like flipping through a slideshow. This was amazing. My vision had changed. भाई का ड्रेसर या वो रूम की रखी हुई पुरानी चेयर, सब चीज अमेजिंग दिख रही थी. I also felt as if I was out of my body looking at these things still in my body, but मेरा सिर्फ विजन मुझे enhance लग रहा था. The other senses didn't seem as strong, giving the feeling of being out of my body. Not literally, but जो समझ सकता है वो समझ जाएगा कि मैं क्या कहना चाहता हूँ. After that, the most amazing and, for the lack of better words, holy experience I have ever felt, and anything like that happened in my life. मुझे ऐसे लगने लगा कि मेरी पूरी बॉडी पे कोई हल्के हल्के से गुदगुली कर रहा हो. मेरे सर से लेके पैरों तक I started feeling vibrations. It felt as if thousands of fingers were trying to make me laugh. This felt amazing. So amazing I couldn't help but giggle. और मैं हंसने लगा. Not loudly but softly. Like I have everything in that moment. And all I need was to be happy. And laughing for a moment. और फिर कुछ देर बाद जब हंसना बंद हुआ, then the effect evolved into electricity. That electricity flowed through me. It was slow at first, still slight fingers poking, then more and more. It felt like electricity running through my body in waves. वो waves मुझे धीरे धीरे पूरी बॉडी में फील होने लगे एंड और पावरफुल होते गए. मेरे हाथों में, मेरे पैरों में, मेरे सर में एक साथ सिंक होते गए. मुझे वो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी के वेव्स में फ्लो कर रहा था. एंड देन आई गॉट अ थॉट ऑफ सिटिंग डाउन, सो आई सेट ऑन द बेड एंड थॉट दिस इज समथिंग आउट ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड. एंड ये सोच के फिर मैं हंसने लगा. एंड देन पर्टिकुलरली ये पार्ट मेरे ट्रिप का सबसे ब्यूटीफुल पार्ट है, जहाँ मैं एक्सपीरियंस कर रहा हूँ सब चीज़ें एक साथ. द वेव्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, माई थॉट्स, वेव्स ऑफ थॉट्स एंड मैनी मोर थिंग्स. एंड आई रिमेंबर सेइंग दिस थिंग टू माई सेल्फ, दीज वर्ड्स. अगर मैं भगवान में मानता हूँ, देन आई नो कि अगर भगवान मेरे अंदर आएंगे, सो दिस इज हाउ इट विल फील लाइक. दिस इज हाउ इट विल फील टू हैव गॉड making a house inside of you. ये सब होते हुए मेरा भाई मुझे देख के सिर्फ स्माइल कर रहा था. I couldn't tell if it was from the weed or from his seeing his little brother stoned. I'm assuming a bit of both. He smiled a big, wide smile and said, "If you think this is funny, wait until you hear this." He played some speech of a guy saying something which I clearly didn't hear and cared about, because मुझे वो electricity waves ही flow करवा रहे थे ये point तक. And I remember I was laughing again hearing the speech. शायद मेरे भाई को समझ रहा था कि मैं वो कंप्यूटर में जो भी दिख रहा है या जो भी मैं सुन रहा हूँ या जो भी वो स्पीच है, मुझे उसमें कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं है. And I was too busy playing with the waves. थोड़ी देर बाद, I guess 10 minutes बाद, the waves went down and again the vision started playing. I saw my hand and it moved a little. The motion was delayed. It was more choppy than delayed. It was delayed slightly and felt choppy as I described, as well as blocky. It was a very amazing thing to feel, and being so, I couldn't stop moving around to feel the motion. I'd slide out of my new cushy fold-up chair on the floor and feel the odd motion, and do it again while rubbing my hands on my pants or doing the hand washing motion. भाई ये सब देख के बोलता है कि लेट्स वॉच समथिंग। सो हम दोनों नीचे के फ्लोर पे जाते हैं जहाँ टीवी पे भाई ने अंडरवर्ल्ड मूवी प्ले किया। I swear to God, I have never seen any movie like that. That movie and the sound system was also good. So the movie and sounds were in sync and it was dark. I was like a baby watching his first movie ever. The sound was amazing. It felt like it had depth. That it was there in the room with me, surrounding me, and was real. I decided to see if I could focus on it, and I could. With added intensity to it. I felt like I was there in the movie, getting thrown around by the werewolves without the harmful or feeling the pain. ये पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम तक 1 घंटा पास हो चुका था एंड 1 घंटे बाद मुझे समझता है कि एट दिस पॉइंट मैं हाई को कंट्रोल कर सकता हूँ. Like if I give enough focus, I can become sober and I can become high on demand. एंड ये टाइम पे मुझे ऐसा लगा कि मैंने मेरी आंखें बंद करनी चाहिए. लाइक माई आईज नीड सम रेस्ट. सो मैं अपना सर सोफे पे टिका के आंखें बंद करके लेट गया. एट दिस पॉइंट आई थॉट आई वॉज इन स्लीप बट रियली आई वॉज अवेक. लाइक आई वॉज इन बिटवीन स्लीप एंड अवेक. ये भी कोई ऐसी बात है जिसको समझना होगा वो समझ सकता है. After closing my eyes though, I started seeing things, shapes and images which were very clear and easy to see in my mind at this point. The shapes and images I experienced were unlike what you'd see at night when you look into the darkness and see a neon light. Same idea here, but very vivid and crisp. These shapes were actually there. It wasn't just my reflection upon them and imagining what they look like. It was as if they were floating under my eyelids. I have studied sacred geometry and I have seen these shapes were like those only mandala and aura color shaped patterns. Imagining things took much less effort at this point. I don't remember them now, but in that experience, it was more like seeing the actual thing. Whether I actually remember the detail or it was just my mind filling it in. The detail was there. And zap! A thought woke me up. I don't know कि कितना टाइम पास हो चुका है. ये पॉइंट तक जब जैसे मैंने आंखें खोली, I shaked my head left and right. After focusing, I could feel I was just slowly moving my head back and forth. And the crunching sound of my hair against the pillowcase was causing the sound effect. I easily went into the sand and waves swishing again and stayed there for a while. The motion made me feel as if I was waking up from this reality and entering a new one. Like I was sleeping in this dream and was waking up from it into the world. And marijuana was the key to doing it. Have you ever been in a dream and could feel yourself moving in the real world? In your bed? It was like that. But waking from the reality, we are in here and now to a new one. And at this point, I felt that time has slowed down. No matter what I did, everything moved slowly. At this point, I felt like going home. So I said to my brother, I'm sleepy and going home to sleep. He was watching the movie and said, okay. And then without giving a second thought, I started walking towards the house. And अगर मैं सच कहूँ तो I was a little scared walking that night in the dark. पर उस रात moonlight was there and cold winds were flowing. And as I put my mind to the moon, it was all good and the wind was flowing and making me feel calmer. जैसे ही मैं घर पहुंचा, मैंने गेट खोला and directly went to my room. Luckily घर में सब दूसरे साइड में थे. It was late, I was tired, and even though I wanted to stay up, I decided not to. Sleep was much more important, and I'd probably be able to experience this amazing feeling again, I thought. So I fell asleep. With this knowledge, I fell asleep surprisingly easy. Perhaps from being so relaxed, my dreams were very vivid and wild though. I woke up the next morning and felt a little unfocused throughout the day. Kind of the after effects of smoking marijuana, I assume. It wasn't something could pinpoint, it was something very faint, but I was still a little fuzzy from the previous night. I did my stuff, the day passed like any other. I went to bed again. When I woke up the next day, I felt refreshed and completely back down to the normal. So, this is how my first experience was with marijuana. After this, I have smoked six several times, and my experiences are different and effects are different every time. As I said, I am from Uttarakhand. One time we went to the mountains to smoke, but that story I'll share sometimes later on. I might perhaps write about them sometime, but for now, this is the report of my first experiences on marijuana. I hope I have given you an idea of my amazing experience, and even though words can't explain the experience, I think I did my best to explain the experience. All in all, this was an amazing experience for me, and something I think everyone should try at least once in their life. It's changed the way I look at things forever and shows that your perception isn't the only way to see through the looking glass. I hope I have given you some information or perhaps just a good time with this story of my first experience. But anyway, thanks for reading, and maybe your experience in life will be as incredible as mine have been. I thank you personally for sharing your experience, Rudraksh, and I thank every one of you for watching this. And remember, peace, love, unity, respect. Bye bye, fellow travelers. See you on the other side.